Live from the capital of the Commonwealth.
Where sharp analysis, your cause, and Richmond always come first. If it's making headlines locally or nationally, we're breaking it down. Now,
I'm going to take my talents to South Beach.
live from the capital of the Commonwealth, Fitz The Bill, with your host, Jack Fitzpatrick.
And here is Jake Moody. Snap the bid high. Kick is good. And the Bears win it. Jake Moody, a hero tonight.
It was a heartbreaker last night for the Washington Commanders, falling to the Chicago Bears on a walk-off Jake Moody field goal, 25-24. And Jake Moody has a way of finding his way around Allen and either ruining a night, making a night great. But the former 49ers kicker who was cut from San Francisco earlier this year gave the Bears a walk-off winner last night, 25-24. And with the loss, the Commanders now fall to 3-3. And it's a team that looks like it's still trying to figure out how to be consistent. And that's kind of the theme this morning following the loss last night. The talent's there. The opportunity is there. Heck, Washington led by 2 scores with just about 10 minutes left in this game. But untimely mistakes, uncharacter mistakes were the undoing for Washington in this game. Early on, it was a Jaden Daniels interception deep in the red zone that ended a scoring chance on the team's first offensive drive. And it was a fumble. I don't know if you're going to give it to Jaden Daniels or if you give it to Bill Krosky-Merritt, but it was a fumble on the last offensive drive for the Commanders that ended up costing them the game. And those 2 mistakes you can point directly to as to why Washington lost last night. And the defense, unfortunately, the defense just is not good enough to make up for multiple offensive turnovers. And it gives the Commanders a lot to focus in on during the week ahead of prep going into their Dallas game. And last night, it was the rush defense that got absolutely shredded. Coming into last night, the Commanders' defense ranked 10th in the NFL in rush success rate allowed, allowing a successful run just 37.1% of the time. Chicago last night had a successful run on 64% of its rush plays. That's the second best mark across the league this weekend. Bobby Wagner had maybe the most simple and to-the-point way of describing the Bears' rush attack after the loss. Quick, to the point, and he's not wrong, because the front 7 just couldn't get the Bears' running backs on the ground consistently. Specifically, DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift, man, oh man, he finished the night 14 carries, 108 yards, and oh, by the way, 67 yards receiving and a touchdown. Caleb Williams finished 17 of 29, 252, and a touchdown. And the best part of Caleb's night, no turnovers. On the Washington side, they fumbled it 3 times, lost 2 of them, threw a pick, and had a field goal missed. They doinked it. That's a lot of missed opportunities. And as simple as it sounds, even with the poor defensive showing at slowing down the Bears' rush attack, there was still a chance to win, and the Commanders turned the ball over 1 too many times that ended up costing them. I mean, they had a 2-score lead with just about 10 minutes to go in this ball game, and then the Bears just dug deep and somehow pulled out a win. And now with a day less to prepare, a quote-unquote short week, the Commanders get to turn their attention to the Dallas Cowboys. And that's the key. Bobby Wagner nails it on the head. You got to create turnovers. When they did it against Justin Herbert last week, they got the fumble, they got the interception, they win that game. This week against the Bears, you don't get any turnovers, you lose the turnover battle by 3, and you end up losing by 1. The team needs to find consistency. If it wants to be considered as a top team in the NFC, they need to find consistency, and last night was a game they needed to win. They had the chance to win, and they just couldn't complete it. And the reason they weren't able to complete it was the lack of consistency, something the team has lacked for a majority of the season, whether it's been poor turnovers, Jaden Daniels missing games, not leaning into the rushing identity this team has. We haven't seen the same team week to week this season. For Washington, that should be priority number 1. You got to fix that. You got to make sure that you lean into that, find that consistency. And oh, by the way, you can't let those turnovers pop up again. The team had lost 3 turnovers coming into last night. They then lost 3 more, and now we're up to 6 on the year. And on 60 carries, Bill Krosky-Merritt, he has 2 fumbles. Both of them he lost. Washington is a team that's a year away from being the quote-unquote new kid on the block. They caught lightning in a bottle last season, and that set unrealistic expectations for a team that is still looking to find that consistency. But if they can figure it out this season, if they can find it, they'll be a fun team come playoff time. But they've really got to dig deep and find that, because week to week, everything is crazy. Heck, the Bills lost their 2nd straight game. You never know what's going to happen. You got to win the games you're supposed to win. This was a game they were supposed to win, and now they've set themselves up at 500 for a battle for the rest of the season. All right, that's what happened last night in the second Monday night playoff game in our doubleheader. Let's update you with some other things that happened around the world of sports.
This is your Fitz The Bill morning update, getting you caught up on some of the biggest stories in sports.
In the NFL last night, we had our Monday night doubleheader. It started with the Falcons defending home turf with a 24-14 win over the Buffalo Bills. Bijan Robinson now has more yards from scrimmage through 5 games than any other player in Falcons history. Sean McDermott is saying that the Bills will use the bye week to start over. Quote, "We'll figure out things on offense, defense, and special teams. We've got to start over and start from ground zero and figure this thing out and work our tails off to do it." The Bears got a walk-off field goal in Landover, Maryland to down the Commanders 25-24. Washington lost 2 fumbles. Jaden Daniels threw a pick in the loss. The Tennessee Titans made a coaching move yesterday, firing second-year head coach Brian Callahan. Callahan finishes with a 4-19 record, was just 1-5 this season. Mike McCoy, the team's senior offensive assistant, will take over as the interim head coach. The NFL on Monday suspended Detroit Lions safety Brian Branch for 1 game without pay for unsportsmanlike conduct after he struck Juju Smith-Schuster following the Chiefs' win on Sunday night. In MLB, the Mariners won Game 2 by a score of 10-3 over the Toronto Blue Jays. Seattle now leads the series 2-0 as the ALCS heads to Seattle for the first time since 2001. Jorge Polanco hit a go-ahead 3-run home run to help power Seattle to the win. The Dodgers got an epic 8-inning performance from Blake Snell. He faced the minimum before being pulled. LA would go on to win 2-1 over the Milwaukee Brewers in Game 1 of the NLCS. And Padres manager Mike Shildt retired abruptly yesterday, saying, quote, "The grind of the baseball season has taken a severe toll on me mentally, physically, and emotionally." And in college football news, Bill Belichick refutes the reports that he's looking to leave UNC. Quote, "Reports about my looking for a buyout or trying to leave here is categorically false. There's zero truth to any of that. I'm glad I'm here. We're working toward our goals. We believe very much in the process. We need to just keep working and grinding away, and that's exactly what we're doing. That's what you may have missed in the wide world of sports overnight, and we've got a fantastic show lined up. Russ Huesman joining at 9:15 this morning to chat about the Spiders' first Patriot League win over the weekend up there in Hamilton, New York, against the Colgate Raiders, and we'll chat a little bit about the upcoming homecoming game on Saturday against Holy Cross. Other than that, we are wide open. The phone line, the text line, they're wide open. 804-327-0888. We'll take a quick timeout, be back, recap everything that happened last night on the Monday Night Football doubleheader.
Hey, it's Paul Sargent, owner of All Set Auto Richmond. How would you like the best paint protection film, ceramic coating, or window tint for your vehicle? At All Set Auto Richmond, we have the products, knowledge, and experience to enhance and protect your vehicle. I personally invite you to come over and visit us at All Set Auto Richmond. We're on Mayland Drive near 64 and Gaskins. Or feel free to Google us, All Set Auto Richmond. That's ALSET Auto Richmond. Protect your vehicle from the Richmond Road elements and the hot sun with All Set Auto Richmond.
Hi, I'm Rob Nicholson from East Coast Appliance, and to celebrate Columbus Day, we're having a $1 million appliance blowout sale now through October the 19th. We're overstocked with millions of dollars of extra inventory, and it must go. Washers, dryers, dishwashers, ranges, refrigerators, and more. Everything is on sale. Save up to 75% off store-wide with extra savings on open box and scratch and dent models. Hurry in before it's all gone. Now through October the 19th at East Coast Appliance, where you always get the best price or it's free.
Ugh, I'm getting so sick of going to the laundromat.
Didn't you just get a new washer and dryer?
Yeah, but it still hasn't arrived.
Where'd you get it?
One of those big hardware stores, and every time I call, I get the garden department, lumber department, or something like that.
Next time, let me know. I have this appliance guy who does same-day or next-day delivery and install.
I'm going to call and cancel my order.
Great idea.
You should never have to wait weeks or even days for a new appliance. Shop East Coast Appliance today and get the best price, or it's free.
This is advertising material. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Georgia's licensed attorney in Virginia is responsible for legal work. Office located at 500 East Main Street, Suite 1600-113, Norfolk, Virginia 23510.
Yo, I bet you didn't know that there's a new sheriff in town shutting down the litigation situation. And they go by the name of Alexander Sonora, trial attorney. Now, we all know life can throw you curveballs, right? A vehicle accident, a medical mistake, or even worse, a workplace injury. At Alexander Sonora, trial attorney, we fight while you hear. Alexander Sonora, trial attorneys will sue the insurance company. Give them a call now at 877-222-6666 or hit them up at Sonora.com.
This is advertising material.
Traffic reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Lennox dealer. Online at HermanAllenPlumbing.com.
Stop by Grabo Sports Cards, the preeminent sports card shop in the Mid-Atlantic, located next to Parlay Bar and Lounge and Scott's Addition for a wide selection of baseball, football, basketball, soccer, UFC, WWE, Pokemon cards, and more. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, or our website at grabos.co, or pop into one of our live breaks on Fanatics Live or eBay Live. Thank you from Grabo Sports Cards.
Henrico Pal is a 501c3 nonprofit serving thousands of local youth each year with after-school programs. On October 30th, Henrico Pal celebrates its 15th annual awards banquet, highlighted by keynote speaker Antonio Davis, former NBA star with the Pacers and Raptors. The evening honors youth and community leaders who make Pal's mission possible. Proudly supported by Bruce Richardson, realtor with Virginia Capital Real Estate, standing with Henrico Pal to build brighter futures. Henrico Pal. Every kid needs a pal.
This is advertising material. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Georgia's licensed attorney in Virginia is responsible for legal work. Office located at 500 East Main Street, Suite 1600-113, Norfolk, Virginia 23510.
Yo, I bet you didn't know that there's a new sheriff in town shutting down the litigation situation. And they go by the name of Alexander Sonora, trial attorney. Now, we all know life can throw you curveballs, right? A vehicle accident, a medical mistake, or even worse, a workplace injury. At Alexander Sonora, trial attorney, we fight while you hear. Alexander Sonora, trial attorneys will sue the insurance company. Give them a call now at 877-222-6666 or hit them up at Sonora.com.
This is advertising material.
106.1 ESPN Traffic.
An accident has the left lane blocked off heading south on 288 at Commonwealth Center Parkway, causing slow-moving traffic from Hull Street Road. Expect some delays heading west on 64 between Mechanicsville Turnpike and 95. And 95 southbound is also seeing some congestion between Chamberlain Avenue and Hermitage Road.
Looking to grow your local business? Let's team up. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, host of Fitz the Bill on ESPN Richmond. Together, we can craft on-air campaigns that drive customers right through your doors. Ready to collaborate? Email me, jack.fitzpatrick@summitmediacorp.com.
Fitz the Bill on this Tuesday morning, or Tuesday. I messed up that date. October 14th. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick. Alan alongside right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, the ESPN Richmond app, and ESPNRichmond.com. Also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. If you want to watch us there, the best place to do it is Twitter, but we're also live on all those other places. Type in ESPN Richmond. We'll pop right on up, and you can watch live, be part of the program by commenting, liking, and subscribing over there as well. We got a text in during the commercial break. If you told me at the beginning of the season, through week 6, we would be 3-3 without Jaden for 2 games, honestly, I would take it. Also, just trying to regulate my feelings this morning, LOL, but a very tough road ahead. That is from Corey. And I don't know if I fully agree with that, Alan. If you had told me 3-3, I may have understood it, but I don't know. I mean, 4-2 probably should have been what you were sitting at this point. You've lost a game to Atlanta and Chicago. That Atlanta game, I guess, isn't looking as bad now that Atlanta took down Buffalo last night, and we'll get to that game in a little bit. But you beat New York, you beat Las Vegas. Those were the 2 games you needed to win. You should have won. At Green Bay on the short week is difficult. But, I mean, 4-2 is probably what the Commanders should be right now after how they lost last night's game. Heck, you could argue when they played Atlanta wasn't that good. You could be 5-1. Instead, you're 3-3 because of a couple tough mistakes here and there.
Yeah, I mean, if you factor in that Jaden was out, 2 games?
2 games. You went 1-1 in those 2 games. Yeah, but now you've gone 2-2 with him.
Yeah, which is great to go 1-1 without him. Like I would, if I was a Commanders fan, I wouldn't be like totally upset about being 3-3 right now, all things considered.
But here's the thing: your next 4 games, you got a technically a quote unquote short week because you lose the day of prep on Monday. At a divisional rival, at Dallas, then following that game at Kansas City, home against Seattle, home against Detroit. Those are 4 tough games where I could realistically see them going 1-3, and then all of a sudden you're sitting at 4-6, well behind the 8 ball. Like losing the Atlanta game, losing the Chicago game, those are going to be tough to swallow at the tail end of the season.
Yeah, they're tough to swallow, but then there's also the idea that you are not in a position to be complacent, right? So when you look at the rest of their schedule, Dallas and Kansas City, Seattle, all these other tough, difficult games coming up in the next month, like the focus should be there at least for the Commanders, which has been, I think, some of the issue is just we see 3-3 because we don't have consistent focus. Like they're Jekyll and Hyde. They were really good against the Giants. What was that against the Packers? Really good against the Raiders.
What was that against the Falcons?
really good against the Chargers. What was that last night? Right. So they've got to get that figured out on their end. And I think seeing it up close last night again, I think is more of a mental component to what they're going through right now. And at the end of the day, when you look at the standings as of today, 6 games in, you're only 1 game behind the Eagles.
Yes,
which is essentially. You either want to be in front of them or you want to keep it close. When you do play them, you can be the deciding factor of taking this division. So, I again, based on Corey's text, I'm not too upset at 3-3. If the Eagles were 5-1 or 6-0, then yes, 3-3 looks really, really bad. But 3-3 doesn't look as bad when the Eagles are sitting at 4-2 and they just lost to the Giants.
That's valid, but you look at how they've lost these games, like the Chicago game last night. Chicago was doing anything they wanted on the ground, just kind of picking and choosing how many yards they wanted. DeAndre Swift goes for over 100 yards. They were the second best rush success rate in the NFL in week 6. That worries me because there have been serious flaws in this defense in their losses. In their wins, it's head scratching. Because in their wins, they look like a completely different defense. And I said it at the start of the show, consistency is going to be the theme today when talking about the Commanders, because they lack any sort of consistency. The defense was great last week against the Chargers. You get a fumble, you get an interception. Then the following week against the Bears, you can't get a fumble, you can't get an interception. DeAndre Swift, they're all running all over you. You allow them to have a successful run on 60+% of their runs, which means they are consistently staying ahead of the sticks when they hand the ball off, and that is a recipe for offensive success and defensive failure.
Yes. Real quick, while it popped up in my mind.
Yes.
The Bill Krosky-Merritt second fumble was definitely Jaden's fault.
Okay, yeah. They gave it to Bill Krosky-Merritt.
Yeah, I figured they would.
It was Jaden. You watched the replay.
Yeah. He didn't handle the ball and
was it really raining that bad up there?
It was the misty rain. It was the awful
the
one.
worst type.
It wasn't just like a downpour.
Handling.
It stayed misty the entire time. So I would imagine the ball was hard to grip all around, like throw or to hand off. So, but Jaden himself said at the presser that wasn't an excuse, and I agree with him. Like,
yeah.
And Frankie Louvu said the same thing. Like, everybody plays in the elements. The Bears had the same mist and rain.
You know what happened with the Bears? Yeah. They didn't turn the ball over.
Now, I will say that the common denominator when the Commanders' defense looks good is when they can control the line of scrimmage. So when you know Kinlaw and Payne are there, Johnny Newton, I don't even know what happened to Johnny Newton last night. I don't even remember seeing him on the field.
3 tackles.
Yeah, like they didn't seem like they were dominating though, right? That's the issue. And everything, is cliche, but in this case, for the Commanders, 1,000%, everything has to start up front, mainly in the interior defensive line. They're not going to get much off the edge, but if the interior defensive line are doing their job, then everybody collectively looks good. And I think that's part of what went down last night. I thought they had an advantage in this game, similar to what they had against the Giants and the Raiders, which was the two games that the defense looked good. Yeah. But shout out to the Bears offensive line, and I don't know if it's because they're coming off a bye week or what, but they held strong. And Swift has been awful this year, and he looked like Bijan.
That was kind of bad. I mean, that was bad.
Yeah, no, it's bad performance.
He had 108 yards rushing last night. I want you to guess how many rushing yards he now has on the season.
He's probably got like 140.
He's got 295, but like
he's really bad.
He got like 40% of his season yards last night. I'm doing that quick math. That's probably wrong.
I was gonna say the reception touchdown was kind of goofy though. They should have made that tackle.
Oh, that was horrible.
Yeah.
And like tackling's kind of been an issue with the Commanders, and it's frustrating because when they are at their worst, when this defense is not playing at its best, it's not playing like it was last week against the Chargers. It's the same issues that were coming up last year too, where apparently they went out and they fixed it, getting Marshawn Lattimore, bringing in Von Miller as a free agent, a veteran free agent signing, like all of this stuff. They were supposed to fix it, and it feels like they didn't fix it whatsoever, and it's the same defense from last year where when they're playing well, they look good, but you can't rely, what'd you call him, Reverend Wagner?
Yeah, Reverend Wagner.
You can't rely on Reverend Wagner, the 58-year-old line. I love Bobby.
Bobby's a good dude.
Hall of Fame linebacker. When he is playing well, which he is still very capable of, he's still one of the best linebackers in the National Football League. But he's old. He's not going to give you, the 15-tackle game night in and night out. He had 9 tackles, 1 TFL last night. And that's the thing where the age of this defense is coming into play.
Yeah, the issue with Wagner is that he just doesn't have the range that he used to have. Ray Lewis went through the same thing when he got older. Like, he wasn't sideline to sideline after
You lose the step,
yeah.
and you saw that. And sometimes Joe Witt Jr. has Bobby Wagner, and this is what the issue was against the Falcons. Bobby's picking up some guys. He's picking up Bijan coming out of the backfield.
Yeah, that's the issue. They've been able to isolate him in the situations where athletically, even in his prime, he probably wasn't covering Robinson like that. But he stands absolutely no chance right now. I think like last night was a collection of the Commanders beating themselves a little bit and just having a bad game. You're right. They haven't gotten any better on the defensive side of the ball. I don't think picking up Von Miller was to do anything other than to have a body, right? I don't think they expected a lot out of him. They're not getting anything.
I'm more so mad about Marshawn Lattimore.
Lattimore hasn't been the the Pro Bowl All-Pro that they were hoping they were picking up. But he didn't have a terrible game last night. I thought the secondary did pretty good, all things considered.
Yeah, it was the front seven that really struggled.
Because there was a couple of coverage sacks last night that was clearly the secondary doing their job. And then the penalties that we were seeing a lot of over the last 4 or 5 weeks didn't seem to be there in the secondary, right? There wasn't no defensive holdings, no pass interference, no Marshawn crash out. None of that was there. So, I mean, they had that part right, but it's one of those things where if I'm saying that something looks good, there's another leak somewhere on the ship, though, right? Because if the secondary's looking good, the D-line's looking bad. We have yet to see the Washington Commanders play a complete game. They still start the games off down double digits. They're still having these lulls where they're in third and longs and things like that. The offense is stalling or the defense is getting gashed. We need to see a complete game. Like you've had 6 games.
Yes.
And you have yet to put together one complete game. That is a little bit concerning.
And I think the really frustrating thing in this game is that you were outscored 13-0 to start it. And then you were able to make it a 24-16 game where you have that lead. You have a and then just tough. Just tough.
No, it's an awful way to lose, man.
And then for the Bears, you got 3 turnovers and a missed field goal from the Commanders, and you could only win by 1.
Oh yeah, trust me. I said it to you before we came on air. I was like, these dudes were literally celebrating, and I guess obviously because of the Hail Mary thing last year, a lot of those guys probably were happy to just kind of get that off their back. And then obviously, you win, you want to be happy about it. But man, there's no way you can look at this game if you're a Bears fan or you're the Bears and you're like, man, this is a good game by us. No, you were lucky to get out of there.
And what did I said it? I said it yesterday. Where at the end of the day, the Bucs have been getting a lot of luck, and at the end of the year, a luck win is the same as a dominant win. So you take them how you can get them. But when you're analyzing the game, you don't come out of this going, I feel confident as a Bears fan. I feel confident as a Chicago player, because you did get lucky in this game. And it's very similar to what they did last week too against the Chargers, where you start defensively, you start poorly, where the Chargers get that 10-point lead, and then during the middle portion of the game, you shut them down. They didn't get anything going. And then the last couple of drives for the Chargers, the game was already away. So in that one, it was garbage time. But the Chargers got over. They had a lot of yards over their final 2 drives of the game. Similar thing in this. The Bears get out to that 13-0 lead, middle part of the game. Washington outscores them 24-3, and then the Chicago Bears over their last couple of drives put up 9 points to pull out the 25-24 win.
Yeah, and you got to give Caleb Williams a little bit of credit here.
Didn't turn the ball over. Should have had 2.
Frankie Louvu had him once. Sam Russell had him another time. But he made the most of the opportunities. And in his tenure with Chicago, he's typically been the reason why they've lost.
Yeah.
And last night he was the reason why they didn't lose. So this is a good thing for him. And I guess I'm also docking Ben Johnson a little bit too there, but good win for him. He's still in his first year as a head coach, and he's got 3 wins in his first 5 games, which is better than anything Eberflus could have done in that same time span. So
yeah, we got a text. Come on, guys, we are repeatedly making excuses for this team.
It's not an excuse.
Yes, they had a fluke run to the NFC Championship. Bottom line is they're overrated.
They're not overrated.
Jaden does not walk on water. They're not even the 5th best team in the conference. Call me a hater, but I'm being honest and realistic. It's time for Commanders fans to face the facts. I will say, if you listen to the start of the show, I said they're a year away from being that quote-unquote new kid on the block, and that they genuinely need to find consistency. If they do, they can be a frisky team come playoff time, but if they're unable to find consistency, there's a chance that they could even miss the playoffs. Yeah. And we're the excuse, saying what the issues of a team aren't necessarily an excuse. We are saying they lack consistency. They haven't been able to put together a complete game, and because of that, they are 3-3. And last year, it wasn't a fluke. They caught lightning in a bottle and made it to the NFC Championship. Any team can do that, and the Commanders were the lucky ones to do it. They're not overrated. Maybe they were slightly overrated or overhyped coming into the season, but there was good reason for that. The stats backed it up. To start this year, they flipped entirely of what they were last year. They're a really good early down team. They're a really bad late down team. Last year, they were a really bad early down team, and they were a really good late down team. It's just completely flipped. And, I mean, fifth best team in the conference. You got the Eagles up there. You got the Packers and the Lions, the Bucks, the Seahawks. Yeah, you're not wrong. The Commanders are probably the sixth or seventh best team in the NFC.
That's not even an insult. They're still in the playoffs as a sixth seed.
That's a playoff team. Like, that is very good. And I'm over here saying they may miss the playoffs because you look at the upcoming schedule for Washington. You can blink if you're a Commanders fan going into your bye week in Week 12, sitting at what, 4-6? Like, you could, your next 4 games, I see them going 1-3. So you're 4-6. Then you got a game against Miami, 5-6. You could realistically go into your Week 12 bye a game under 500, and then the remaining schedule is Denver, at Minnesota, at New York Giants, home against Philly, home against Dallas, at Philly to finish out the season. Like, it's a tough road for the Commanders to overcome. They need to find that consistency, but they've shown that when they do play with some sort of consistency and some sort of cohesion and synergy, they're a good team. They are the 5th best team in the NFC. And that's not, I would argue that they're maybe even the 6th or 7th best team in the NFC. But we're not making excuses. We're just pointing out what's wrong with this team. And if they fix it, they've got the talent because they have one of the best young quarterbacks in the National Football League. Let's get a quick break in. News or snooze, everyone's favorite segment coming up on the other side of this break. 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Catch up on the latest horse racing news with Off to the Races live broadcast, 10 to 11 every Saturday morning on 106.1 ESPN. Presented by The Racing Biz.
Cooler fall temperatures are coming, and that means perfect weather for a round of golf at Queenfield Golf Club. Queenfield is a beautifully secluded 18-hole course just a few minutes east of Mechanicsville that offers a spacious driving range, practice greens and bunkers, and professionally maintained golf course. Take the afternoon off or schedule your tee time today by calling 804-769-8838 or reserve your spot online at queenfieldgolf.com. Queenfield Golf Club, RVA's best kept secret.
Are you suffering from a sports injury, chronic pain, or something that just plain hurts? Ortho Virginia can help get you on the road to recovery. As the state's largest provider of orthopedic care, Ortho Virginia's team of specialists offers surgical and non-surgical treatment options. With 12 offices conveniently located in the Richmond area, visit orthovirginia.com or call 804-915-1910 to discover why at Ortho Virginia, stronger starts here.
It's the final game of the Richmond Kickers 2025 regular season. Come out and salute the team Saturday, October 25th as the Kickers take on Forward Madison SC. It's Fan Appreciation Night at City Stadium presented by Feed More with happy hour beverage specials and RVA's best food trucks. Thanks to everyone for supporting the Richmond Kickers this season and over the past 30 years. To learn more about becoming a 2026 season ticket member or to reserve tickets, visit us online at richmondkickers.com.
It's bow time. The Pork Chop Griller is back at Bojangles for a limited time. We know you missed it in all its tender, marinated glory, and how could you not? Because when you take a juicy, mouth-watering pork chop and sandwich it on a flaky, made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, it's not a flavor you want to say goodbye to. And don't worry, if it could talk, we're pretty sure it would say, I missed you too. Get to the nearest Bojangles and order yours today. It's bow time.
Hi, I'm Rob Nicholson from East Coast Appliance, and to celebrate Columbus Day, we're having $1 million appliance blowout sale now through October the 19th. We're overstocked with millions of dollars of extra inventory, and it must go. Washers, dryers, dishwashers, ranges, refrigerators, and more. Everything is on sale. Save up to 75% off store-wide with extra savings on open box and scratch and dent models. Hurry in before it's all gone. Now through October the 19th at East Coast Appliance, where you always get the best price or it's free.
At East Coast Appliance, we used to shop all over town to make sure you were getting the best price. Now we use AI to make the process easier and a whole lot faster. We have electronic price tags on all of our appliances that scan our competitors' prices and then check our prices to make sure we're lower. We take our best price guarantees seriously, and this helps to save our customers time and money. So if you're in the market for a new appliance, just stop by your local East Coast Appliance Superstore and see for yourself. East Coast Appliance, the best price, or it's free.
Weather reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Lennox dealer. Online at HermanAllenPlumbing.com.
106.1 ESPN weather.
It's currently 57 degrees and partly cloudy, but feels like 51 with a high today of 70 and a low of 56. We're expecting mostly overcast skies to continue throughout the rest of the morning and into early afternoon, with the sun poking out again around 3 p.m. We're feeling that northern wind averaging at about 11 miles per hour with gusts up to 30 miles per hour. And temperatures just rising slightly tomorrow with sunny weather, a high of 73 and a low of 56.
Whether it's the football field, the basketball court, or the diamond, and everything in between, we'll be talking JMU athletics on Talkin' Dukes Wednesdays, 6 o'clock here on 106.1 ESPN.
News.
Extra, read all about it.
Or snooze.
All right, headline number one. Penn State AD Franklin's big game record played a role in firing.
Snoozeworthy.
Snoozeworthy it is.
Like, if it played a role in his firing, then you should have done it after he lost to Oregon. Like, no, you're just trying to save face now. What played a role in his firing was that he started losing the games he's supposed to win, which is totally fair. He's at 70% win percentage as the head coach of Penn State, right? If we extrapolate that out, he probably wins 85% of his games against teams he's supposed to beat. And he's 4-21, is it, against top 15 teams? I forget what the exact number cutoffs are, but he wins the games he's supposed to. He wins the games that would be really nice to win, that are the tougher games. He just does not follow through with those. And so when you lose the Oregon game, all right, at this point we expect that from James Franklin. Then you lose to UCLA. Then you lose to Northwestern. That's what's getting you fired. I don't get why the Penn State AD's like, actually, what played a role in his firing was the loss 2 weeks ago. Like, that just seems weird.
Yeah, he was 4-21 against top 10 teams.
Top 10.
Yeah, that ain't gonna get it done for me.
No, you're right. And like, if that's what played a role in your firing, then why didn't you fire him after the Oregon game? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think there's some validity to some of the rumors. Not necessarily Adidas wanting him out before the season started, but I think Penn State fans and as an institution had him on a short leash despite the success. I think a lot of people would say, well, he won 70% of the games. There's not a lot of people with good records against top 10 teams. Yeah, but
Kurt Cignetti does.
Yeah, and what the AD said yesterday, too, I thought stood out the most, was that they are expecting and want to win a national championship. If you can't beat top 10 teams, you ain't going to ever get to the national championship.
Like when you are a Penn, like for Vanderbilt, right?
Yeah.
Vanderbilt, it's really cool to win 10 games every season and, be feisty in the SEC, maybe make a college football playoff every now and then.
Scare Bama every now and then.
Scare Bama every now and then. That's cool for Vanderbilt. Heck, that's cool for a lot of schools in the country. You know where that's not cool? Alabama, LSU, Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, the blue bloods of the country. Those schools, it's not cool to just be a frisky team every couple of years. No, you're expected to compete for national championships. And you look across the Big Ten, Michigan's won one, Ohio State's won one, Penn State, this was supposed to be your year, and what'd you do? Fell flat on your face against Oregon in overtime, and you're whiteout. Drew Aller has not developed into the quarterback that you expected. And who does that ultimately fall on? It ultimately falls on the head coach who decided who the offensive coordinator is. And, I get it. James Franklin's a good guy. Call me, people might hate this take. I don't care if my coach is a good guy. I care if my coach wins.
I mean, well, that's what I think all ADs feel at that level, right? At some levels, the character matters. There's plenty of guys at the top of college football.
I can guarantee
goes,
you
the character
Kirby Smart's not a good guy. Kirby Smart, he does not know how to keep his program in check. But you know why?
They got some issues.
You know why he doesn't get fired? Because he wins football games. Like, cool, you could be the nicest guy, but if you are consistently failing against your peers, you need to go. But I just don't like the AD saying that the big game record played a role in his firing 2 games after he lost that big game.
No, I agree. Number 2, Matt Rule. Loves Nebraska, but doesn't shut down Penn State talk. All right, you got me doing double time. Let me pull up the soundbite here.
I got to hear this. I got to hear
what
this.
Matt Rule said. Might be the first person to ever say he wanted to live in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yeah, and probably the last. Probably the last. And I do love Matt Rule going like, you guys might not out of this, but this is what happens when you win. Brother, you're 5-7 and 7-6 at Nebraska. You have not gotten into the meat of Big Ten play. You started last year this well, and then you finished 7-6. Like, this is what happens when you win. This is what happened at Temple. This is what happened at Baylor. And you know what happened at both of those spots? Just in case for the listening audience wants to know, he left those programs.
Yeah,
like
that doesn't encourage confidence,
right?
For
like
Nebraska fans.
Nebraska fans listen to that. All right, just shut down the talk. Just shut down the talk, Matt. And he goes, you guys aren't used to this, but this is what happened at Temple and Baylor. And at Temple, sure, I left for Baylor, and at Baylor, sure, I left for Carolina. But there's no way I'm leaving here for my alma mater that I love, that I grew up rooting for, that can offer me more money than Nebraska, that is more of a traditional power, that's been more relevant in this millennium. Sure, I'm not leaving here. Like, this is newsworthy, though, because he did not shut it down. This is newsworthy.
Yeah, he didn't shut it down.
Read all about it.
Actually, he did everything but shut it down.
I love how he starts the statement. I love Penn State.
And then
it's great.
And then tells us all the things we already know. It's my alma mater. I met my wife there. Yes, these are all reasons that you would leave
exactly.
and go coach.
And then
yes,
his reasoning, and just so Troy is the Troy he's referencing and the Pat Kraft he's referencing. Pat Kraft, who he goes, I love Pat. That's the athletic director of Penn State.
Yeah.
The Troy he's referencing is the athletic director at Nebraska. And he's saying, Troy and I have a great relationship. We want to work towards building Nebraska into a power. And sure, that's all good and well. But when the rubber hits the road and you get a $10 million, $11 million offer to go coach Penn State, Matt Rule, I think I know what you're doing. I think I know where you're going and where your heart lies. Like, and saying that you've built a winner at Nebraska and this is what happens when you win, I mean, you haven't really won. You weren't bowl eligible year one. You were barely bowl eligible last year. You're 5-1 this year. Congratulations, I guess. But like, you look at the schedule coming up for Nebraska, and they could kind of stumble a little bit with games against. Granted, now who knows how good Penn State is? But you got Penn State still on your schedule, Southern Cal, and Iowa. So there's still 3 games you could lose. At Minnesota is going to be more difficult than you think. Northwestern just beat Penn State. UCLA, you have to travel across the country. UCLA just beat Penn State. I mean, this isn't a foregone conclusion that you're going to be a one-loss team that's battling for a Big Ten championship.
UCLA just beat Michigan State too, man. They're taking everybody's.
They're
head
taking
in the Big Ten.
names. Like, but I think it is so funny that he's just like, I love Penn State. And it's like, and
Yeah,
and he's like,
I know,
well,
right?
no, and I love Penn State.
I don't think him going to Penn State makes them any better either. I think they'll wind up being pretty much the same thing. Like, what's Matt Rule's record in big games? Not as good as James Franklin.
I also don't think he's like.
I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Matt Rule as well he's a fine coach, but he gets so much love for being a sub 500 coach at Baylor. He was 5 games above 500 at Temple, and I get Baylor.
Ready? You ready for this?
Oh God,
Matt Rule is 0 for 11 against AP top 10 teams.
Nice.
His record against all ranked teams is 2-23.
Okay, yeah, Matt. Yikes! Get Matt Rule out of here, Matt. Man, if Penn State calls you,
he's never been in the. Well, actually, he had built Baylor to be a top 25 team, and he did a decent job against Temple. But yeah, man,
his years at Baylor were hilarious. He took over an absolute dumpster fire with the Art Briles stuff and all of that happened. He took that over. He inherited a team that then went 1-11 in 2017. He then built them into 7-6 and 11-3. So that last year, he should have been able to beat a couple of teams. Then he went to Carolina and then failed in dramatic fashion. He had 2 10-win seasons at Temple. Here's the thing with Matt Rule. He's a good builder. He's never really sustained the build anywhere he's gone because he's jumped ship so quickly. Like, built Baylor into an 11-3 team, jump ship to the NFL. Built Temple into back-to-back 10-win teams, jump ship to go to Baylor. Nebraska, I just don't think his profile fits Penn State. They don't need a builder. They need a reviver.
Yeah, and Matt Campbell's another name from Iowa State that'll probably pop up.
No.
Just know that Iowa State was 8-98-2 versus top 10 opponents. They're 4-4 since he took over as a coach.
4-4. That's as many wins as James Franklin. A 500 record better than what James Franklin had going on. But Matt Rule's being floated around a lot with Penn State due to his Penn State ties, his alma mater, where he met his wife, all of that stuff. But I just don't think Matt Rule makes a ton of sense at Nebraska. All right, let's go out to the phone lines real quick. We've got Dolphin Dave on line 1. Good morning, Dolphin Dave. How are we feeling with the meltdown that's happening in Miami?
Oh, well, you know what? We've been talking about the meltdown almost all season, so this is not something that shocked me. The fact that, if you look at the last play or one of the last plays of the game we had this week against a pretty good Chargers team, all we had to do was, wait a minute, I think it's called tackling. I think that's part of the game. I could be wrong, but I think tackling is part of the game. And all you had to do is wrap up Herbert in the backfield, and you had that game won. But no, we couldn't wrap up Herbert in the backfield, and we lost the game. I do not expect. I hate to say this. There is not a week now I go into a game and expect us to win. When the beginning of the season, I said, "Oh yeah, maybe the Patriots, maybe the Jets." But maybe. And
maybe.
Now I'm even getting rid of maybes. So. Real quick, I agree with you with Matt Rule at Penn State, and I would consider, and I do like Penn State, and I would consider Penn State, I got to say maybe a top 10 college, at least a top 10 college coaching place that someone could go.
Yeah.
I don't know who else would go. I don't know who else, but you've got to be able to do better than Matt Rule. I mean, why would you bring him in here in the Penn State? Penn State is looking, like you said, Matt Rule hasn't won any big games, and that's why Franklin got fired. Why are you bringing the same person in or someone who's possibly worse?
Yeah.
You got to, deep down, you got to go find a really good coach that could win, handle the NIL, but just kind of win at Penn State. And Matt Rule is not it.
Yeah, Matt Rule's definitely not it. Thank you so much for calling in, Dolphin Dave. Have a great rest of your day. Matt Rule's not it. That was a great pull by Allen for his record against top 10 teams, his record against top 25.
I don't remember a signature win by Matt Rule.
And the thing is, he's just jumped and maybe it's because he has jumped ship every time that he's built his team into a consistent power. He did bring 2 10-win seasons to Temple. Prior to Matt Rule, they had only had 1 in their entire program history. I understand that. But he jumped ship. He's a program builder, not a program reviver. But, I mean, if you're looking at names, I think the list starts and ends with Curt Cignetti. You want to call him, you make him say no. I believe that Penn State is a better job than Indiana. Indiana, sure, they have the pockets of Mark Cuban. But, I mean, Penn State it's close. Similar to Matt Rule, it's closer to Cignetti's hometown. That's kind of the area he grew up in. I think that is you make Curt Cignetti say no. I don't even think you go after Matt Rule, but that's what a lot of people are thinking. They're thinking Matt Rule is option number one for Penn State. I think that would be a mistake if they went after and got Matt Rule. All right, what?
I was going to say last headline real quick.
Yeah, hit me with the last headline.
Yeah, we got to because we talked about this at the beginning of the season. Brian Callahan fired.
Newsworthy. Come on, man. What are the Titans doing?
It's not often I do this, but I want to backtrack on what I said and defended him earlier in the season. I watched that Titans game against the Raiders, man.
Raiders.
And there are fundamental flaws in coaching where you look at a team and you're like, this just can't be.
Yeah.
Like you can't defend it.
It was quite awesome how bad he was.
Yeah.
Like
every game, just completely unprepared.
I heard this stat this morning. The Tennessee Titans averaged 1.8 red zone drives per game this season.
He's an offensive coordinator.
They made it past the other team's 20 1.8 times per game, less than 2. They lead the NFL with 67 drives this season. They're dead last in the NFL in number of red zone drives. Just let that sink in.
And they played a Raiders team that's like one of the worst just collective teams in the league. And they couldn't muster a high score against them.
But just like, why didn't you fire him in the offseason? You thought about doing it.
I know, and I said it was wrong because they asked him to tank, and he did.
But I guess he tanked too well.
I guess they saw the fundamental flaws. But
he got, but like, very, very newsworthy that Brian Callahan's fired, and it is now the fourth quarterback, number one overall drafted quarterback to lose their head coach in their rookie season. Really impressive stuff. Let's get our last break in here. Step aside. Be back. Wrap up hour number 1 of Fitz the Bill. 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
This Thanksgiving, gather around the table, not the boardroom. Classic Party Rentals of Virginia makes it easy to spread gratitude at work. From tables and chairs to linens and dinnerware, we have everything you need to create a holiday feast your colleagues will never forget. We deliver everything straight to you. Classic Party Rentals of Virginia takes the hassle out of hosting. Show your team how much you appreciate them. Visit ClassicPartyRentalsVA.com for more details. Classic Party Rentals of Virginia, where every gathering feels like home.
Hi, I'm Rob Nicholson from East Coast Appliance, and to celebrate Columbus Day, we're having a $1 million appliance blowout sale now through October the 19th. We're overstocked with millions of dollars of extra inventory, and it must go. Washers, dryers, dishwashers, ranges, refrigerators, and more. Everything is on sale. Save up to 75% off store-wide with extra savings on open box and scratch and dent models. Hurry in before it's all gone. Now through October the 19th at East Coast Appliance, where you always get the best price or it's free.
At East Coast Appliance, we used to shop all over town to make sure you were getting the best price. Now we use AI to make the process easier and a whole lot faster. We have electronic price tags on all of our appliances that scan our competitors' prices and then check our prices to make sure we're lower. We take our best price guarantee seriously, and this helps to save our customers time and money. So if you're in the market for a new appliance, just stop by your local East Coast Appliance Superstore and see for yourself. East Coast Appliance, the best price or it's free.
Traffic reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Linux dealer. Online at HermanAllenPlumbing.com.
Why stress over Thanksgiving in the office? Classic Party Rentals of Virginia takes the hassle out of hosting. Whether you need extra tables and chairs, elegant linens, or complete place settings, we deliver everything straight to you. All you have to do is enjoy the feast. This year, bring the team together with Classic Party Rentals of Virginia. Visit ClassicPartyRentalsVA.com for more details. Classic Party Rentals of Virginia. Celebrations made simple.
Hey Richmond, looking for more Fitz the Bill content and behind-the-scenes looks into the show? Well, follow us on Instagram at Fitz the Bill ESPN RVA. You'll get all of the clips, exclusive hot takes, and so much more. Follow us at Fitz the Bill ESPN RVA on Instagram.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot.
Is Cheers the greatest sitcom of all time?
I think it's up there. It probably depends on your age demographic.
Yeah, because I've never seen it.
Well, of course not, because you're like 15.
All right, I'm not.
And I mean, the syndicated shows like Cheers now play at like 2 a.m. So people like me who don't sleep are up to see them, but like you go to bed at a normal time, so you would never see it.
I do go to bed at a normal time.
It's like I'm probably one of the few people that still watches Charm because it comes on after the West Coast NBA games. I'm still up.
That's insane.
I mean, hey, I'm still up. Nobody else is up, man.
Oh, I found a list for the top 100 best sitcoms of all time.
Cheers got to be top 5.
Cheers number 2. Guess
Right,
number 1. Guess number 1. You won't guess it.
I won't guess it because it better not be Friends.
No, it's The Simpsons.
Oh, what?
An animated sitcom.
I don't know about that.
I wouldn't consider. I mean, Seinfeld's number 3.
Seinfeld had a good run.
Seinfeld had a really good run. I've seen that. I watched that on Netflix. They put
you
that.
had no choice.
Cheers. They haven't put Cheers on Netflix yet.
You're born in what, like 95, 96, 97? All right, yeah. It was still syndicated and circulating into like the 2000s.
Yeah. I'm trying to find Friends. Parks and Rec number 9.
Parks and Rec has a pretty good run too.
Curb Your Enthusiasm 12.
Where's The Office?
I'm trying to get there, man.
Wow.
It's not in the top 15. It's not in the top 15. Not in the top 20.
Don't tell that to what station is it on all the time?
All right, The Office is number 23.
That's tough.
I haven't found Friends yet.
That's good.
Wow, this is crazy. Friends is like generally
to our texter that thinks the Commanders are overrated. Friends is overrated.
Friends is overrated.
Yeah.
Wow, where is Friends? Friends is number 38.
That's too high.
That's too low for what the cultural significance is of the show.
I don't care about that.
I will say, How I Met Your Mother, not in the top 100. That's wrong.
Somebody my age probably made that list.
I mean, probably older than you, because in the top 15 we got like all the old school shit, like the black and white stuff.
I mean, that's when people watch TV, so people don't really watch it anymore.
We could go on a whole tangent about how streaming has ruined all television.
Streaming has ruined everything, and I cannot wait. Save it for basketball season, because that's when we're all going to be upset.
Oh my!
When you got to stream your NBA team.
When you got to stream, oh god!
I don't want to. I'm not tuning into Amazon Prime for NBA. I'm boycotting.
That's fine, but they're very good for football.
They're all right for football.
The one annoying thing with streaming and football is that when there's a baseball, and I didn't realize this was a thing until the postseason now, you can't multi-view it. So like I have YouTube TV, right? So I got MLB post. Last night it was great. I had MLB postseason. I had both Monday Night Football games. The Mariners were here. The Dodgers were here. Got the full screen. On Thursday nights with MLB playoff action, I can't multi-view it. So I have to put the MLB game on my phone on the table, and then I got to put Amazon Prime up on the TV.
Yeah, MLB might.
Problems.
I'll say MLB might go to Amazon. They're looking for a home.
Yeah, that's true. Apple ain't doing it for them either. That's another story. Apple TV is in on the game. It's crazy. Hour 2 coming up.
From Hot Topics in the morning to Spider Pride in the evening, 106.1 ESPN Richmond keeps you talking. Fitz the Bill, Border to Border, the Mashup Hour, and the Sports Huddle. Always live and always local. 106.1, where Richmond talks sports.
Get the latest update on Henrico County sports tournaments, happenings, and future events on ESPN Richmond's newest segment, the Henrico Huddle. Join Henrico Sports and Entertainment Authority Executive Director Dennis Bickmeyer as he sits down with Bob Black on the Sports Huddle. For more information on Henrico's Sports and Event Center calendar, visit online at henricosea.com or tune in to the last Monday of each month for the Henrico Huddle.
Cooler fall temperatures are coming, and that means perfect weather for a round of golf at Queenfield Golf Club. Queenfield is a beautifully secluded 18-hole course just a few minutes east of Mechanicsville that offers a spacious driving range, practice greens and bunkers, and professionally maintained golf course. Take the afternoon off or schedule your tee time today by calling 804-769-8838 or reserve your spot online at queenfieldgolf.com. Queenfield Golf Club, RVA's best kept secret.
Do you know how much you're really paying for life insurance through work? I can almost guarantee you're overpaying for limited coverage. I'm Joel Clark, a Select Quote agent for over 20 years. My clients are shocked to learn how expensive life insurance at work really is because of a rate that's driven up by unhealthy people. Why pay more when you don't have to? For over 35 years, Select Quote has helped people save 50% or more by shopping highly rated insurance carriers. I found a 40-year-old man with high blood pressure, a $500,000 policy for only $18 a month. Don't procrastinate. Workplace open enrollment will be here soon. Let Select Quote save you money and get you the coverage you need to protect your family.
For your free quote in just minutes, call 1-800-964-6464. 1-800-964-6464. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-964-6464. 1-800-964-6464. Details of example rate at SelectQuote.com.
From the ESPN studio, presented by Ortho Virginia. Find one of Ortho Virginia's orthopedic locations at orthovirginia.com. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 1061 ESPN. You're listening to the second hour of Fitz the Bill on 1061 ESPN.
Welcome in hour number 2 of Fitz the Bill. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick Allen alongside on this Tuesday, October 14th morning. We are live on 1061, the ESPN Richmond app, and ESPNRichmond.com. We're also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. If you just type in ESPN Richmond, we'll pop right on up and you can watch the show live. You can comment, like, and subscribe, be part of the show there. And, of course, the phone line, the text line, always open, 804-327-0888. Coming up at 9:15, we'll be joined Russ Huesman, head coach of the Richmond Spiders, following their win at Colgate. We chatted with head coach Russ Huesman about the upcoming homecoming game as well. So that's coming up in just a couple of minutes at around 9:15. You don't want to miss that. And we don't want to miss this guy's call. Espo on line 1. Good morning, Espo. How we doing?
Good morning, and welcome to the college coach flywheel. No longer the carousel, right? Who would have thought at the beginning of the season that the coach with the most secure job in the ACC would be Tony Elliott? Who would have guessed that?
That is, I mean, yeah, because even now Dabo is on shaky ice or thin ice, whatever it is. He is not secure whatsoever.
It's a bowl of Jello, everywhere. Florida State's a bowl of Jello, Clemson's a bowl of Jello, and here's Virginia looking like, potential ACC champion. It's incredible. That's what I love about the NIL. It's really made college football unpredictable again, as opposed to the usual 10 we always see.
Espo, what if I told you that the teams atop the ACC right now would be Georgia Tech, UVA, and Duke?
I'd be getting a parade ready for those fan bases because they all deserve it. They've suffered long and hard with the old system where you got the same kids. They were locked in. The coach could do what he wanted. Now, all of a sudden, the kids got some power. I mean, listen, it may be too far the other way a little bit for the kids. But the bottom line is, isn't it interesting for fan bases that never cared about football, like Duke, to kind of be into it, and Georgia Tech for that matter?
It's crazy how that money at those schools can bring in, like, you see those schools with, and I'm not trying to, disparage Florida State alums or UNC alums. Heck, Boston College has good alums, and they're still 0-4 in the ACC. So it takes a little bit of everything. You need all the things to hit right, but UVA's got such a great alumni base that all are in, not all, but they have high-paying jobs. Heck, the co-founder of Reddit is a UVA alum, and he infused cash into the women's basketball program, and that should be seeing some fantastic ROI on that investment here shortly. But you're seeing these schools with really, really good alumni bases start to infuse money into their football programs, and then we're seeing that come out with success. Brent Key's a fantastic coach, and he has the NIL budget. What does that result in? Georgia Tech being the 12th ranked team in the nation. UVA, they've got a good coach in Tony Elliott. They've got the NIL. They hit on their players. They hit on Chandler Morris. They're 18th in the country. They're 5-1, 3-0 in conference play.
It's incredible, and I tell you what's interesting. It's energized the UVA fan base now. They've got just a good situation, and that's great for the school. I mean, I saw some stats on just JMU being in the Sun Belt. You got 40,000 applications, which is about double what they got before they were in the Sun Belt.
Yeah.
It's it's just amazing what a good football program will do, and people don't recognize that. Or just kind of they're missing the coffee in the morning because it is absolutely the way it's gonna have to be from here on out.
I forget who said it, but it's the front porch of the university, right? Like athletics, football, and men's basketball, especially because you get so much free media coverage with those two programs. It's essentially just marketing for your school. The more successful your football team is, the more successful your men's basketball team is. Typically, the more applications you have, which means more money coming in, and that's what every single school wants. Like, you look at VCU when they made their Final Four run. I think reports were that they rose applications the following year by at 200%, 400%, some ungodly number, because they got all of that media attention. And so athletics truly is the front porch to your university.
Yeah, well, maybe VCU will get a football team. That wouldn't be a bad idea either.
We don't have to open up that can of worms. Hey, they're still undefeated, Espo. They're still undefeated. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. There goes Espo. He's not wrong. I mean, who would have thought that this is where we'd be, and Tony Elliott would be one of the more secure coaches.
In 2025, we'd still be making those VCU football jokes.
All right, VCU alum.
Yeah. Hey, I got a...
You're undefeated, though.
I got a D on a paper for writing basically a dissertation why VCU needed a football team.
Well, did you support it with facts, or was it all
Of course
opinion?
I supported it with facts. It was like a 20-page paper. We had to do it for class. But my English teacher said that he had gotten that paper so much that he was just tired of reading it. He really gave me a D for it.
Yikes.
I know, it was awful, man.
Man, you hate to see that.
Yeah, they were not a football-loving school when I was there.
No, because it's all about basketball.
I know, but dang, man.
Go Rams, man.
I know.
They just had the black and gold game.
I know, and I couldn't go. And it obviously work, and then I was doing the Spiders game, so I wasn't upset about it. Spiders got their first
Spiders got a dub.
Patriot League win.
They did it through special teams and some timely,
a worthy
defensive
sacrifice.
play. Yeah, very worthy
I
sacrifice.
couldn't be two places at once. Finally, my schedule caught up with me. I couldn't be two places at once.
Hey, that happens. I was supposed to be in two places at once on Sunday. My schedule caught up with me, but we figured
it was tough. Like the Spiders game, I think I got done around like 4:35, 4:40. And I was like, I could run out there and be a little bit late.
Or you can take the afternoon off.
No, or I could just finish Red River.
Oh, or that.
Yeah, so I just finished Red River.
or that.
I was like,
that's valid.
Yeah, I had options.
Yeah, and you watched John Mateer and the Oklahoma Sooners offense not find any rhythm. And
the moxie is gone.
Man, and Texas, I looking at that box score of the game, because I was tuned into some other games. I wasn't fully, because once I saw that Oklahoma had no offense, I was like, I'm not even going to waste my time watching this game. Yeah. I love how Texas is now game planning around Arch Manning. Like, we are not letting you win us this game, lose us this game. We're going to try and take you out of this as much as possible. He went 21 of 27, maybe one of his better performances in terms of completion percentage, 166 yards, 1 touchdown. And it's just like, you guys are really just saying, Arch, you are our quarterback, just don't mess anything up. We're going to give the ball to Wisner 22 times, and we're just going to hold on for dear life that our run game can get us these wins.
I figured it out, though, after watching that game.
Yeah.
Arch doesn't know how much talent he actually possesses. In his mind, he's Peyton and athletic Eli, I guess, but he makes throws that are so ill-advised for him. Like, yo, you should not. Like, I know you see it, but you should know better than throwing that.
There are moments when you're watching Arch like that, or at other times where you watch him. Like, there was this one drive in that opening weekend game against Ohio State where you were like, he's got something. He just has to figure out how to be smart with it. He's got to get over some of his yips. I think the best thing for him would be to come back for another year, which I think he's going to do.
He's got no choice.
But he doesn't need the money, all of this stuff. He's going to come back for another year, whether it's with Texas or maybe you transfer to a better quarterback guru.
You are absolutely not transferring away from Texas if you're Arch. Like, they invested a lot in him, man.
They did.
And they've got that verbal agreement between him, his dad, family, etc.
That's true. But I mean, I just don't think Steve Sarkisian is necessarily the QB guru that's going to get the most out of Arch. But you've made the bed, you got to sleep in it. Arch comes back. You hope that he finds something this offseason. Maybe he leans on his his 1.5 Hall of Fame brothers.
He's probably already tried that.
He's leaned on the wrong one. He's leaned on the half of a Hall of Famer.
There's no osmosis going on in that family.
But I think he's got the raw talent. The issue is it's still raw, and it was on display against Oklahoma in that 23-6 win in Red River. I want to move over to the NFL here and talk about the failing situations that the National Football League has put rookie quarterbacks into, because with the firing of Brian Callahan, it's now the last 4 QBs taken number 1 overall have had their head coach fired during their rookie year.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this, and what I've come up with is, they have the Wonderlic test
for draft picks.
Yeah, for draft picks. Why don't we do a Wonderlic test for
coaches?
Yes, I think coaches need an assessment, and I think part of the assessment, we need to see that you understand clock management and you understand how to call plays and things like that.
We have Madden. I'm shocked that we haven't used Madden to figure out how good coaches are at game
My friend
management.
used to say that all the time, and I used to think it was a joke, but I think he's right. There needs to be some kind of a criteria set, because what we're seeing is a lot of talent wasted, a lot of time wasted, not as much money because, NFL coaches don't have college level buyouts, but the development of some of these guys is stunted so much.
Yeah.
And the quarterback classes are not getting more talented.
Because look, if you zoom out on it, at every level, really, the goal is to win. The goal isn't to develop. You could even go down to the high school and peewee ranks. The goal is to win.
It shouldn't be at that level.
It shouldn't be, but you got travel football, AAU football, whatever it is. The goal there, the parents aren't spending $1,000 or whatever the cost is for their kid to go in and be developed. The parents want to win, and so there is that pressure on them. And then at every level, especially the college level, where Caleb Williams is coming out of college and he's not a developed quarterback. He's playing in this jazz musician type of way where he's just kind of flowing like water, and he doesn't get developed by Lincoln Riley. He then comes into league. Matt Eberflus can't develop him, and now Ben Johnson has the role. Cam Ward, he grew from Incarnate Word going to Washington State, then going to Miami, but he never really he developed, but he wasn't developed into what was needed at the NFL level. Every level's focused so much on winning, and it stunts the growth of these quarterbacks. Because now you have you can look at Daniel Jones, you can look at Sam Darnold, Geno Smith, all of these guys who landed in a horrible situation, then have found their way to nurturing situations with coaches that know how to develop QBs. Sam Darnold lands with KOC and lands for a year with Shanahan. You have Geno Smith with Dave Canales. Dave Canales was the one that unlocked Geno Smith year 1 in Seattle. Canales then becomes the offensive coordinator with the Tampa Bay Bucks, unlocks Baker a little bit more. Then he goes to Carolina as the head coach. And it's so dependent on coaching. And every level, it is not geared towards the development of players. It's rather geared towards the winning of football games. And because of that, it's resulted in Cam Ward having his head coach fired, Caleb Williams having Matt Eberflus fired, Bryce Young having Frank Reich fired, and Trevor Lawrence having Urban Meyer fired. And then Doug Peterson, and now he has Liam Cohen. But that's the issue. And Brian Callahan getting fired, it's the right move. It stinks for Cam Ward because now essentially his rookie year is a complete wash. But it's the right move because, man, the players were revolting against Brian Callahan. All right, let's get out to the phone lines real quick. Bruce is on line 1. Good morning, Bruce. How are we doing?
Good morning, Fitz. Good morning, Alan. Guys, I'm going to revert back to my VDOT days, and I'm going to talk about I-81. I'm going to talk about, Fitz, you'll know this mile marker very well, 247 off of I-81.
Oh, yes.
That's the James Madison exit. I'm going to give you one more mile marker, though, Fitz. I'm not going to leave you there. I'm going to give you mile marker 118. Bruce, what is 118? It's the exit to Christiansburg. So if you do the math, roughly 129 miles. Why did BPI not go and talk with Kurt Cinetti?
Great question. Why didn't they when they were hiring Brent Pry?
Yes. Look at what Kurt Cinetti has done, guys. Has anyone even thrown that question out? Look at what he has done in Indiana. 129 miles. If you're lucky, you can make it in an hour and a half. That close. So, it's mind-boggling. You had a chance to get this guy, but I don't know.
You're not wrong, Bruce. I mean, I think there was a little bit when they hired him in 22, he hadn't, quote unquote, proven himself at the FBS level. Virginia Tech seems to want to go out and get these splashy hires, getting Fuente after his one-hit wonder year with Memphis. You go out, you get the hot coordinator out on the market in Brent Pry. I think Virginia Tech's always going after flash, not substance. And there was this feeling around Kurt Cinetti. He hasn't proven it consistently at this level. He hasn't done it at this level. And he's old. Because at the time when they were hiring that head coach in 2022, Kurt Cinetti was 61 years old. And people were like, man, he's near retirement age. He can't do it. And then he proved everyone wrong by going to Indiana and being arguably one of the hottest coaches in the nation.
And I know we can always say, hindsight is always going to be 20/20.
Yeah.
But you had a great opportunity 129 miles away.
You're right.
Yeah, guys. So I also I haven't spoken with you guys in a while. I really, I know Espo is a LSU grad, and I'm not calling anyone out. I would love, I don't know if the three of you guys, this tragic instance on the driving of Kyron Lang, it's tragic in so many ways, guys, and I just don't know, you look at the footage, but I just think it's tragic on so many fronts, because someone loses a parent and a sibling, and then we see what happens to the young man. So I didn't know if you and Alan had talked about it. I didn't know if Espo had called to even mention it.
No, we haven't really talked about it too much. Kind of still waiting for a lot of it to come out, because we're seeing both sides kind of leak the information that benefits their side. So really got to dive into it, see how it all plays out. But it is a really tragic situation nonetheless. Kyron Lacey, the LSU wide receiver, should have heard his name called at the NFL draft. But some tragic situations that happened around him when he was, with everything that happened around LSU and all of that stuff. But haven't really fully dove into it just yet, Bruce.
And then my final comment, and I'll leave y'all with this. I don't want to open the veil too much. But I'm looking forward to Thursday morning. I really am, guys. I really am.
Should be a very fun one. We'll talk a little bit more about that as it gets closer, probably tomorrow. Bruce, appreciate you helping set all of that up. You guys don't want to miss what we've got coming on Thursday. Appreciate you calling in. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Wow, Tuesday. Thanks. Soon I'm going to be saying it's Friday. I've hit every day of the week I've been wrong on.
You're having way too much fun, and I blame baseball for that.
Hey, baseball, we'll be talking about that in just a little bit. But I do want to touch on Brian Callahan again, because I found this clip of Jeffrey Simmons talking about the week of practice following the Titans' loss. And I think right when Jeffrey Simmons said this is when Brian Callahan was fired by the Titans front office.
Yeah, that is disappointing. When you could, in this league, you got to learn how to stack wins, and to be able to carry that momentum over, you have to do. It started at practice. We probably, just being honest, this probably was one of our worst week of practice. Came out flat.
All right, this was our worst week of practice following a win. That right there, that ended the Brian Callahan era in Tennessee, and that was a common sentiment around the Titans, is that they didn't have juice. They didn't come out playing with the intensity needed. They had a horrible week of practice. This is a Titans team that was 1-4 going into that game. They're now 1-5. That lost the job for Brian Callahan. That's tough. That's tough.
Yeah, he'll be a coordinator somewhere, and he'll stay a coordinator.
He wasn't even a play. Like, the hire, going all the way back to the hire for the Titans, was mind-boggling because he wasn't even a play caller coordinator. Zach Taylor did all the play calling in Cincinnati.
He's not good.
Well, that's a whole other story. Yeah, I mean, look at. He might be good now with Joe Flacco, though.
He ain't no good with Joe Flacco.
No, it's so funny. But Cam Ward, he's been dealt the tough hand. He is the fourth quarterback taken number 1 overall to have seen their head coach fired during their rookie campaign, joining Caleb Williams, Bryce Young, and Trevor Lawrence. So wash this season away from Cam Ward. Hopefully the Titans can get an offensive mind, a quarterback whisperer to come in and take Cam Ward's game to the next level, because he really hasn't had that up to this point in his career. All right, let's get a quick break in. On the other side, Russ Huesman, the head football coach for the Richmond Spiders, will be joining us chatting about the Colgate win and the upcoming Holy Cross homecoming game on Saturday that you can listen to right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Looking for a neighborhood service station that can provide premium fuel for your car, auto repairs, and friendly advice? Stop by the family-owned Bon Air Shell, 8762 West Huguenot Road.
Horse racing is back, and it's time to get ready for another Triple Crown season. Get the latest from the industry every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 with Off to the Races on 106.1 ESPN, presented by The Racing Biz. Nick Hahn and Frank Vespi bring you their insight and knowledge, talking with the people making the headlines, including jockeys, trainers, and owners. Plus, get the expert picks each week, including a visit by Derby Bill Watson. It's Off to the Races each Saturday morning at 10 on 106.1 ESPN, streaming live on the iHeartRadio app.
Do you know how much you're really paying for life insurance through work? I can almost guarantee you're overpaying for limited coverage. I'm Joel Clark, a Select Quote agent for over 20 years. My clients are shocked to learn how expensive life insurance at work really is because of a rate that's driven up by unhealthy people. Why pay more when you don't have to? For over 35 years, SelectQuote has helped people save 50% or more by shopping highly rated insurance carriers. I found a 40-year-old man with high blood pressure, a $500,000 policy for only $18 a month. Don't procrastinate. Workplace open enrollment will be here soon. Let SelectQuote save you money and get you the coverage you need to protect your family.
For your free quote in just minutes, call 1-800-964-6464. 1-800-964-6464. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-964-6464. 1-800-964-6464. Details of example rate at SelectQuote.com.
This is Brennan Wells, the owner of Pro Weld Fabricators. We are a Richmond-based company. We are here for all of your welding projects.
Bradley Hicks here with Pro Weld Fabricators. We bring all the right tools to your doorstep. Emergency repair? No problem. We're available 24/7 for all commercial and residential needs. You need Pro Weld Fabricators. Learn more about Pro Weld Fabricators and check out some of our awesome projects at pro-weldfabricators.com.
Pro Weld Fabricators is your #1 source for any of your commercial welding needs.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Henrico Sports and Entertainment Authority Executive Director Dennis Bickmeyer joins Bob Black for the Henrico Huddle, ESPN Richmond's newest monthly feature.
This is advertising material. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Philip George's licensed attorney in Virginia is responsible for legal work. Office located at 500 East Main Street, Suite 1600-113, Norfolk, Virginia 23510.
Yo, I bet you didn't know that there's a new sheriff in town shutting down the litigation situation. And they go by the name of Alexander Sonora, trial attorney. Now, we all know life can throw you curveballs, right? A vehicle accident, a medical mistake, or even worse, a workplace injury. At Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys, we fight while you heal. Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys will sue the insurance company. Give them a call now at 877-222-6666 or hit them up at Shinara.com.
This is advertising material.
He's betting against the spread and sometimes logic. Matt Josephs, live at 3 on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, where Richmond talks sports.
Welcome back in 106.1 ESPN Richmond. Fitz the Bill. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick. Allen alongside. And we're joined now, Coach Russ Huesman of the Richmond Spiders, following their 24-19 win on Saturday up in Hamilton, New York, against the Colgate Raiders. Coach Russ Huesman, his first win as the head coach for the Spiders came against Colgate, and now his first win as a member of the Patriot League comes against the Colgate Raiders. The Spiders get an impressive performance. A late Peyton Sealman interception seals the win for the Spiders, and a Javion Griffin punt return touchdown gave them that 24-19 lead. And in that 24-19 win, Coach, what was the key? I know you mentioned the punt return there, but Ashton had a really solid game, really taking care of the football. What was the key to getting that win on Saturday?
Well, for one, we didn't turn the ball over, which, we've been turning it over a little bit coming into this one. And, we didn't turn it over. We shot ourselves in the foot with some penalties that hurt us a little bit. But, we hit the big play to Andreas Hill there, which was huge. Big play there. And defense did just enough to get some stops in the second half. And then obviously the last two times they had possession, to get those stops, it was huge. So, it was a team win, offense, defense, special teams. Everybody across the board contributed.
Was there something that you guys did specifically over this week of practice or how you attacked the game that allowed you to cut down the turnovers, or was it just not making mental mistakes?
Well, last week it was just a couple of balls that were thrown behind the wideouts. Ash had a really good game the previous week against Bucknell, and just had a couple balls that he'd like back that were behind our guy. And, we've been hanging on to the ball pretty good. We haven't been fumbling, and it's kind of been the interceptions that's been our Achilles heel. And, he didn't put the ball in jeopardy at all. And we didn't throw it quite as much. We only threw it 19 times in this game. But, he put it where it was supposed to be. And and again, we're hanging on to the ball when it's in our hands. We got to make sure we continue to cut down on the interceptions.
Russ Huesman, Richmond football head coach, joining us this morning. Coach, what does it say about your team? You guys were outgained 402 to 296, but still came away with the win, a gritty road win up there in Hamilton, New York. I know travel's a little different, still kind of feeling out this new league as well, but you were able to come out with the win despite being outgained 402 to 296. What does that say about the team that you got?
Well, our guys play really hard. We're not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but, they play hard. And, they keep playing all the way through for 4 quarters. We did that against Bucknell. We just didn't get it. But they do play, 4 quarters, and I greatly appreciate that about our football team. But, the hidden yardage was really more, I know they outgained us by 100 and whatever, 6 or something like that between offense and defense. But the difference in, the field position based on, us punting the football, we pinned them inside the 10 twice. Our kickoffs were really good. Got them backed up fairly decent there. And then obviously our punt return was huge there. So, our kicking game, and then we made all our points. They missed the extra point there, but we made all our kicks. So I think, the difference in the game was it was for sure special teams.
How important is it to have a special teams unit that can do things like that? You get the punt return touchdown. You just mentioned all of the ability to kind of pin them deep. How important is it to have that type of special teams unit going into Patriot League play, the rest of your Patriot League season?
Well, we're doing a lot better job. Jaden Yelcheski is making all his kicks and putting them through on field goals. which is huge for us. I mean, you got to get points when you have those opportunities. Javion Griffin's our third punt returner. We got our first two out with Jaden Fair and then Ye Vaney. And so, Javion was our third guy, and the wind was blowing pretty hard in pregame, and he muffed the first five that came to him in pregame. And so I wasn't feeling great. The wind settled down a little bit where, where he could catch him. And, he had a really nice, he had a 20-yard return that got called back for a holding call prior to the 87-yard touchdown. So he did a really nice job of making good decisions back there. He let one, made a good decision, let it go into the end zone. We got it back out to the 20. So I think our kickers and our kicking game, is in really good spot right now.
So when Griffin's muffing him in pregame and you see that first one go to him in game, what's going through your mind?
Well, I felt like throwing up, to be honest with you. The first one I wasn't as nervous because I knew it was a pooch punch situation. He was going to fair catch that one no matter what. He puts his heels on the 10-yard line, and that thing, landed, I think, in the end zone. So I wasn't as nervous. But then the next one where I knew he had to field the ball, because we did have a return on, and he fielded it cleanly and got 20 on that one. And then the next one he fielded cleanly and got 87 on. So, you're nervous. You see it all the time in college football. A lot of these guys muff. But I actually talked to him, too, the night before. I was watching the South Florida game, and I told Javion, I said, listen, I said, if there are people around you, make sure you fair catch that. Don't try to be moving and avoiding people as you're trying to catch it, because right before the half, North Texas return guy, he was, trying to make something happen and going away and trying to get away from the cover people, and he muffed that one and gave the ball to South Florida right before they have 38 seconds to go, and they scored and changed the whole momentum of the game.
Yeah, momentum with college football games. A lot is talked about the middle eight portion of the game, the 4 minutes prior to halftime, the 4 minutes after halftime. How important do you kind of gear in at that portion of the game?
Well, obviously it is important. You look at possessions, because we got the ball first, they deferred, so you knew probably you're getting the extra possession of the first half. You want to make sure with that, and it actually happened that way. We got the possession right before the end of the half. We took it down there, and we got a field goal to tie the game up. So that that made you feel really good. A little bit of momentum going there, and then I believe we kicked off to them and got a stop immediately. So it kind of worked out in our favor. Do I look at it and preach it to our guys? No, but sometimes a lot of it depends on when you get the ball first, second, in the first half, and where you end up with it at the end. So, but we don't really talk a lot. I know it's important, no question about that, but we just try to play.
Russ Huesman, Richmond football head coach, joining us this morning. Speaking of just going out there and playing, you went out there and you just played on the tush push. Like you took something from the Philadelphia Eagles playbook and had success with it. When did you add the tush push, and were the inspiration the Eagles?
Well, we've always kind of had the quarterback sneak with the single back there pushing him. So we've gotten into the one back stuff, and he kind of is back there, and as the snap occurs, he comes running up and pushes the quarterback. We've done that this year, but this week we put in two guys back there to push him, and it was kind of the first time we have done it that way. And I'm glad we did. I mean, we got him in the end zone barely, but he got in.
And now you guys return back to Robins Stadium. You get a homecoming game against Holy Cross. What's the focus this week in practice so you can string together some Patriot League wins?
Well, I mean, it's good to be back home, and it's nice to have homecoming here. I know we'll have a lot of the former players and alums back for this one. The Holy Cross is scary. I mean, I know their record's not great, obviously, but they played an unbelievable schedule with FBS, and then two of the better teams in the CAA in Rhode Island, New Hampshire, two of the better teams in the Ivy League, Yale and Harvard. Harvard's top 25 team in the country. They played a really, really challenging schedule, and I think it's prepared them. And they're coming in understanding that they still have a chance to win the Patriot League. They control their destiny in the Patriot League. And so it's not like it's typical 0-6 if they quit. No, they got everything out there to play for. They've been in this situation multiple times the last couple years, where they lost, a good amount early and then came back and still won the Patriot League. So, they're coming in here with a lot to play for, and obviously we're playing for a lot too. So, it should be a great atmosphere. I think two really good teams, and I think the team that makes the least amount of mistakes is probably going to win the game.
And, Coach, how do you guys, through this week of practice, Colgate was able to move the ball through the air on you. How do you approach this week of practice to make sure Holy Cross doesn't have that same success?
Well, I think, on the back end, we made a decent amount of mistakes in coverage during the course of that game that hurt us a little bit. We three pass interference calls that really hurt us in that game, and we just got to play. We got to play better technique back there. We got to have better eyes. We got to have better understanding of how they're trying to attack us, and get a little bit tighter on the wideouts. We weren't, our coverage wasn't as tight as we would like it to be, but we're playing a pretty young, inexperienced group. I know you can't say now we've played 7 games, so they're not inexperienced anymore. But really, a lot of those guys back there, it's the first time really playing college football, and so we just got to tighten it up, work on our techniques, make them a little bit better, and then no critical mental errors in coverage back there.
That makes a lot of sense, Coach. Appreciate the time. Good luck this Saturday. Homecoming at Robins Stadium. Kick slated for 2 p.m. Good luck out there, and congrats on the win.
Thanks so much. See you guys.
There goes head coach Russ Huesman following the Spiders' 24-19 win on the road against Colgate to get their first Patriot League win of the season. Up next for the Spiders, it's a showdown with Holy Cross on Homecoming, Robins Stadium, 2 p.m., ESPN Plus, and also 106.1 ESPN Richmond. With that game against Holy Cross, he mentioned it. The Crusaders are 0-6 this season. That may scream automatic win, but you look at the schedule that they've played, Northern Illinois. It was a 2-point loss against Northern Illinois, an FBS squad. Then, oh, by the way, they played the 25th ranked Harvard. I believe they're the Harvard Crimson. It was a loss against Yale on the road. Number 6, Rhode Island, was just a 2-point loss, 9-7 on the road against New Hampshire. It was just a 3-point loss. So a lot of games this season have been very, very close, and a lot of their games this season have been against very solid teams that have battle-tested the Crusaders coming into this showdown with the Richmond Spiders on Homecoming, 2 p.m. kick right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. And that's the thing Coach Huesman was talking about there. They're 0-6 on the year, but they've only played one Patriot League game. And so you look here on out, they only play Patriot League games the rest of the way, none of which are against ranked opponents as it stands right now. And so everything's still in front of Holy Cross. They're still playing for a Patriot League title. They just tested themselves, quite aggressively with this opening slate against Northern Illinois, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Yale, Fordham. That was their lone Patriot League game, which they lost by 5. And then they're coming off of a game on October 4th against the 25th ranked Harvard Crimson. It is a tough schedule to open things up for Holy Cross. And Richmond, they got to look past that 0-6 record because the Crusaders are going to come in with winning on their mind, give them an opportunity to start battling for that Patriot League title because, yeah, you're 0-6, but you're only 0-1 in Patriot League play. You still got everything out in front of you. So it's going to be a great showdown against Holy Cross on Saturday. Homecoming should be a lively atmosphere inside of Robins Stadium with game time set at 2 p.m. You can listen right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. So appreciate Coach Russ Huesman taking some time out of his morning to chat with us. We're going to get a quick break in, step aside, be back with more Fitz the Bill right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, where Richmond talks the Spiders.
Looking for the perfect golf course? Check out RVA's best kept secret, Queenfield Golf Club, just a few minutes past Mechanicsville. Reserve your tee time today at queenfieldgolf.com.
Hey, it's Paul Sargent, owner of All Set Auto Richmond. How would you like the best paint protection film, ceramic coating, or window tint for your vehicle? At All Set Auto Richmond, we have the products, knowledge, and experience to enhance and protect your vehicle. I personally invite you to come over and visit us at All Set Auto Richmond. We're on Mayland Drive near 64 and Gaskins. Or feel free to Google us, All Set Auto Richmond. That's ALSET Auto Richmond. All Set Auto Richmond. We can take any vehicle from ordinary to extraordinary.
Richmond Kickers soccer games in the fall is a RVA tradition. Just a few games left at City Stadium this season. Reserve your tickets online at richmondkickers.com.
This is advertising material. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Georgia's licensed attorney in Virginia is responsible for legal work. Office located at 500 East Main Street, Suite 1600-113, Norfolk, Virginia 23510.
Yo, I bet you didn't know that there's a new sheriff in town shutting down the litigation situation. And they go by the name of Alexander Sonora trial attorney. Now, we all know life can throw you curveballs, right? A vehicle accident, a medical mistake, or even worse, a workplace injury. At Alexander Sonora trial attorney, we fight while you heal. Alexander Sonora trial attorneys will sue the insurance company. Give them a call now at 877-222-6666 or hit them up at sonora.com.
This is advertising material.
Do you know how much you're really paying for life insurance through work? I can almost guarantee you're overpaying for limited coverage. I'm Joel Clark, a Select Quote agent for over 20 years. My clients are shocked to learn how expensive life insurance at work really is because of a rate that's driven up by unhealthy people. Why pay more when you don't have to? For over 35 years, SelectQuote has helped people save 50% or more by shopping highly rated insurance carriers. I found a 40-year-old man with high blood pressure, a $500,000 policy for only $18 a month. Don't procrastinate. Workplace open enrollment will be here soon. Let SelectQuote save you money and get you the coverage you need to protect your family.
For your free quote in just minutes, call 1-800-964-6464. 1-800-964-6464. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-964-6464. 1-800-964-6464. Details of example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, plus the leading technology from Lennox. Now that's a perfect duo. For a limited time, we're offering up to $1,500 in rebates, or qualified buyers make no payments, incur no interest for 60 months when financing a new Lennox system. Plus, receive up to $2,600 in federal tax credits. Call Herman W. Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today at 804-746-5853. Or visit us online at hermanallenplumbing.com to learn more.
Are you suffering from a sports injury, chronic pain, or something that just plain hurts? Ortho Virginia can help get you on the road to recovery. As the state's largest provider of orthopedic care, Ortho Virginia's team of specialists offers surgical and non-surgical treatment options. With 12 offices conveniently located in the Richmond area, visit orthovirginia.com or call 804-915-1910 to discover why at Ortho Virginia, stronger starts here.
He's the voice of the Richmond Spiders and your companion for the drive home, Bob Black. Weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. on the Sports Huddle. Only on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, where Richmond talks sports.
Welcome back in. Fitz the Bill on this Tuesday morning, October 14th. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, Alan alongside. And I've waited long enough to talk about this, Alan. My Mariners, man, 2-game lead over the Toronto Blue Jays in the ALCS. It was a 10-3 win last night. The bats for the Mariners came alive. The Blue Jays, who scored 34 runs in 4 games against the New York Yankees, 8.5 runs per game. Their bats have cooled down. The pitching of the Mariners, too much so far for the Toronto Blue Jays to overcome. Through 2 games here in the ALCS, the Blue Jays have scored just 4 runs. That's a 6.5 runs per game drop from what they were doing against the Yankees. And Josh Naylor last night hit a massive, massive shot to all but ice the game. It was a 7-3 lead at the time, and Naylor did it in his home country, north of the border. Fun fact, yesterday was actually Thanksgiving for Canada, and so he gave thanks with a 2-run blast. This is what it sounded like last night on Fox.
Fly to deep right field. Back goes Lucas at the wall. Goodbye! 3rd home run of the game for the Mariners, blasting their way through game 2. They lead it 9-3.
First home run of the postseason for Josh Naylor is the Mariners would go on to just kind of crush their way through the Blue Jays. Trey Yesavage went 4 innings, allowed 4 hits, 5 earned. Got a little wild with it, walked 3 Mariners, struck out 4 of them, and was just not a great performance from the Blue Jays pitchers yesterday, as they didn't go through just Yesavage. They went through Varlin, Fluharty, Fisher, Rodriguez, Bassett, and Lower. Yesavage? I just need to figure out how to pronounce it. Yesavage? I should know it. He was a baller at ECU. When I was a play-by-play voice for UNC Charlotte, the 49ers, they played ECU every year. Never got to call a Yesavage game because they always played him in midweeks. But it was always good games. But he allowed a home run. Varlin allowed a home run. Fisher allowed a home run as the Mariners just kind of ran all over the Blue Jays. Got out to a 3-2 lead after the first inning. It was 3-3 after 2, and then Jorge Polanco hit the 3-run blast in the top of the 5th, and it was all Mariners from there on out.
Polanco's got like 9 lives. Was he like the 4-hitter for them?
He's the 4-hitter.
Yeah, which is crazy.
I saw 2 hits, 1 home run, 3 RBIs. Has like 3 home runs down the postseason and like 10 RBIs or something.
Yeah, no, I don't follow the Mariners specifically that much. I mean, they're a West Coast team. I listen to the games every now and then, but like I don't know their roster like I would know the Braves. So when I saw Polanco in the cleanup spot, I was like, no, he's not clean. I'm not seeing that right. And I looked it up on my phone, and I was like, no, Jorge Polanco. But hey, look, he's raking, man. It reminds me of and I know he's better than this guy, but you remember that run Raul Ibanez went on
right, yeah.
when he was with the Yankees? And it was like, yo, every time he swung the bat, he was hitting a home run.
And you're just like, what is happening?
I think they beat the Tigers in a series because just Raul Ibanez every time.
I mean, and he's been in Seattle since the start of last season. This year, he's just like decided to be really good. I mean, batting .265, a .326 on base percentage on the season. And it's now just raking in the playoffs. Like
he's dangerous.
And then Randy Arozarena, who's been like fine, but he's finding a bit of a rhythm. He does strike out a lot.
He's always dangerous when he's on.
He's a postseason menace. I remember, was it 2020?
With the Rays, yes.
Granted, it's funny. I think he has like 10 career postseason home runs, and like 7 of them came in that postseason.
Even in the World Baseball Classic, he was a menace for Mexico.
He's clutch, but he's hitting 161 so far. So you'd like to see that get a little bit better in the postseason. Cal Raleigh continues to play well. Julio Rodriguez, you want to see a little bit more, but like with the play of Polanco and even Josh Naylor, you're fine with not getting so much out of Julio Rodriguez and Arozarena.
That's a pretty versatile middle of the order, though. You got it from both sides, left and right.
Yeah.
I think the thing I saw yesterday, it's a must win
for Toronto.
For Toronto, not only because obviously when you're down 3-0, it's hard to come back from. In baseball, they can always go back to the Red Sox. It can be done.
It can be, but it's not going to.
You don't want to be there, but it can be done. In basketball, I think it's 3-1, not 3-0.
No one's ever come back from 3-0.
So what I would say for the Blue Jays though is like the life at Rogers Center, I think is what it's called. Yeah, the life was taken out
immediately.
Yeah, and baseball can be cruel in the postseason, especially when you have so much jubilation from beating the Yankees and you come into this and you had a great season and it's just the Mariners are just just killing you.
And against a Mariners team that's been subpar away from Seattle this season.
Yeah,
like
but-
they are under 500 away from home.
But the majority of their runs come from home runs, and every time they swing the bat, they're hitting it out.
Yeah,
and
Cal
then
Raleigh hit 60 of them in the regular season.
the crazy thing, the Blue Jays, I don't know whose decision this was, but I know a lot about the Rogers Center because of sports gambling. It's an awesome hitting venue.
Yeah.
Especially when the roof is open.
And they open the
they opened the roof like it was going to be a boost for them, but not a boost for the Mariners.
Mitch Garver, who is like 80 million years old. I forget how old exactly. I think he's 34.
Yeah, he's been around though.
Hit a triple because he hit it deep into center field, and the center fielder, Varsho, was tracking it and just lost it because the roof was open.
It kept carrying. No, I remember that particular
and
hit.
So Garver's like, I'll just keep running. And Garver was maybe running 15 miles an hour and got a triple.
Like even Varsho, like you could kind of tell, like when he got to the wall
He
or
was
to the
shocked
warning
it
track,
was there.
he was like, wait, what? I'm running out of room?
Like it was so. And
he's also the most unathletic center fielder. He can't jump to save his life.
No, he can't. That was the ugly. I could have jumped better than that. But look, the Mariners picked a good time to have their bats come alive, getting 10 runs. They haven't scored 10 runs in a long time. Last time they did it was at Kansas City, all the way back on September 16th. So just about a month ago, they've gone without scoring. Oh, excuse me. They scored 13 runs against the Rays to finish out the season. I missed that one. But I mean, the Mariners picked a good time for their bats to come alive here in the postseason, taking a 2-0 series lead, and that should be enough.
Yeah,
like, now you go back home, and things should be good for you.
Dodgers versus Mariners. People will be like, oh, the Mariners are a small market team. It's going to do numbers in Japan.
Yeah, it
in
is.
Japan.
Yeah, it is. That game's going to be
They've got
crazy.
a Nintendo Switch patch on their jersey, and they're going to be playing against Shohei Ohtani. You best believe the entire nation of Japan is tuning into that World Series if that happens.
Yeah, so buckle up because the Dodgers did get a 2-1 win yesterday. Blake Snell went 8 innings, faced the minimum. The one hit he allowed, he picked off the base runner, Caleb Durbin.
He's so good. 10
strikeouts, and Snell became the first pitcher to face the minimum through 8 innings in a postseason game since Don Larson threw a perfect game in the 1956 World Series. However, Blake Snell's performance was fantastic. Wasn't the best performance, wasn't the best play of the night. The Brewers did this insane 8-6-2 double play.
Up for 2. And Muncy skies one to center field, hit well. This one's got a chance. Freeland going back to the wall. He leaps. It's in and out of his glove, but he caught it. And now chaos on the bases. Might have a play at the plate. The throw. Not in time. No, he's out. He's out.
Not in time. Oh, wait, he is. But an insane 8-6-2 double play.
Imagine being somewhere where you can't hear the commentary and seeing that unravel. Like I was in the press box, and I obviously didn't have any volume on, and I was so confused. Like, wait, what is going on? Did he catch it? He did catch it? Like what?
He did it go out? Did he bat? It looked like it was a home run that he hit
back in
to himself. He got it, throws to the cutoff man. Cutoff man gets it to the catcher. Catcher gets the force out at home, but an insane double play that ended with the Dodgers getting the last laugh, a 2-1 win, thanks in large part to Blake Snell.
Oh, I thought you were about to say Freddie Freeman. Oh, that was going to hurt me. I was going to break.
I almost played that clip, but I saved it for you. Blake, it was because of Blake Snell.
Yes.
He faced the minimum through 8. Dodgers get the game 1 win in the NLCS, and Brewers have some work to do. That was the first time the Dodgers beat Milwaukee this season in 7 attempts. So Dodgers picked a good time to get the win. Brewers picked a horrible time to get the loss. Let's get our last break in. Step aside. Be back to wrap up this Tuesday edition of Fitz the Bill.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Serving Richmond and beyond for over 20 years, Bon Air Shell features a full line of automotive services. Check out bonAirShell.com, loaded with coupons, specials, and more to see all that they can do for your car and your peace of mind. And now with their Fuel Rewards program, you can save at least 5 cents per gallon on every fill-up. Learn more at FuelRewards.com. Go see the team at Bon Air Shell, 8762 West Huguenot Road. Go to bonAirShell.com or call them at 272-3232. That's 272-3232.
Do you know how much you're really paying for life insurance through work? I can almost guarantee you're overpaying for limited coverage. I'm Joel Clark, a Select Quote agent for over 20 years. My clients are shocked to learn how expensive life insurance at work really is because of a rate that's driven up by unhealthy people. Why pay more when you don't have to? For over 35 years, SelectQuote has helped people save 50% or more by shopping highly rated insurance carriers. I found a 40-year-old man with high blood pressure, a $500,000 policy for only $18 a month. Don't procrastinate. Workplace open enrollment will be here soon. Let SelectQuote save you money and get you the coverage you need to protect your family.
For your free quote in just minutes, call 1-800-964-6464. 1-800-964-6464. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-964-6464. 1-800-964-6464. Details of example rate at SelectQuote.com.
This is Brennan Wells, the owner of Pro Weld Fabricators. We are a Richmond-based company. We are here for all of your welding projects.
Bradley Hicks here with Pro Weld Fabricators. We bring all the right tools to your doorstep. Emergency repair? No problem. We're available 24/7. For all commercial and residential needs, you need Pro Weld Fabricators. Learn more about Pro Weld Fabricators and check out some of our awesome projects at pro-weldfabricators.com.
Pro Weld Fabricators is your #1 source for any of your commercial welding needs.
Looking for the perfect golf course? Check out RVA's best kept secret, Queenfield Golf Club, just a few minutes past Mechanicsville. Reserve your tee time today at queenfieldgolf.com.
Enjoy cocktails, a silent auction, dinner, and dancing at the Bon Secours Violence Response Team Gala on Saturday, October 25th at the Science Museum of Virginia, featuring guest speaker Jim Schmidt.
For details and gala tickets, visit closetfactory.com/location/Richmond.
Border to Border with Matt Josephs on 106.1 ESPN. Your daily 3 to 4 p.m. pit stop for unfiltered sports takes, statewide debate, and no-holds-barred analysis. Richmond's game, Matt's lane. Don't miss it.
Welcome back in, Fitz The Bill. As we wrap up this Tuesday edition, I realized we really didn't talk too much about the Bills' second straight loss of the season. 24-14 setback last night on Monday Night Football to the Atlanta Falcons. And that is 2 straight losses for the Bills. That's 2 straight losses against teams that they were favored against, and 2 straight games where they lost against, I mean, we can call it like it is, an inferior team. And the Falcons didn't just beat them by 10. They kind of demolished them. Outgained Buffalo 443 to 291. Josh Allen was held to just 180 yards through the air. The last time he threw for 180 yards or less was week 4 of last season. And since the start of last season, this is just the 3rd time he's thrown under 200 yards. Like a forgettable performance from the Buffalo Bills offense. The 2 interceptions from Josh Allen need to get cleaned up. But hey, this Falcons defense, Allen, might be legit. Because we clowned them for their draft decisions, probably valid, but it's come through where, hey, the ends at this point are justifying the means because they rank 5th in the NFL in EPA allowed per play, which means they're one of the more efficient defenses at slowing down the other team. They're 1st in the NFL in yards allowed per game. If you don't like the advanced stats, the regular stats tell you that this Falcons defense is really good. They're 7th in scoring defense. And they rank 5th in the NFL in EPA allowed per play. If you throw out garbage time, they rank 3rd in the National Football League in EPA allowed per play. They stop the pass well. They allow the run a little bit, but they're so good at defending the pass. They're one of the more efficient groups in all of the NFL, and they've only allowed 100 points this season. That's the 2nd least amount in the NFC. The Vikings are 1st with 97. So this Falcons defense is legit, and the Buffalo Bills ran into it, and they figured that out firsthand. And now there is some work to do as the Buffalo Bills head into the bye week. Sean McDermott said following the loss that they are going to figure everything out. We've got to start over, he said. We got to start from ground zero and figure this thing out, and we'll work our tails off to do it. They're going to need to, because this defense for Buffalo, 17th in the NFL in yards allowed per game, 17th in scoring defense. They're 23rd in EPA allowed per play. So teams are moving the ball kind of at ease, successful plays, explosive plays. They're doing whatever they really want against the Buffalo Bills, and it really comes on the ground. Buffalo's defense has not been able to stop the run. 25th in rush success rate allowed. They're 31st in rush EPA allowed. So teams are consistently moving the ball against them and getting massive explosive plays against them. And we saw it as Bijan Robinson had a career night last night. 170 yards. He had an 81-yard touchdown run. And overall, the Falcons rushed for 210 yards. Buffalo getting eaten alive on the ground. There are some serious issues with Buffalo right now. If they want to get to the Super Bowl, if they want to be the representative out of the AFC, they've got to figure out what's gone wrong these last 2 weeks. And coaches always say it. It's typically a cliche, but I believe it in this case. Bye week is coming at a perfect time for Buffalo. All right, we've got a loaded day coming up. Stay right here. Clinton and Friends goes into the Rich Eisen Show, into Border to Border with Matt Josephs, the Mashup Hour, into the Sports Huddle. We are where Richmond talks sports.
From the ESPN studio, presented by Ortho Virginia. Find one of Ortho Virginia's orthopedic locations at orthovirginia.com. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 106.1 ESPN.